least Christianity encourages you to wear your conscience on the inside, whereas the woke movement and part of its doctrines and rituals is like praying to the woke, whereas a Christian would pray quietly, and the woke version of praying is virtue signaling, isn't it? And they wear they wear their conscience on the outside, and it's narcissistic as well. And you're just thinking, come on, we can't have gone from a very small fraction of the population being truly transgender, wanting to change their entire gender, being in the wrong body, and which is totally understandable and we would all accept, to now such an overbearing population of just people that want to be the centre of attention. And you're just like, oh, sod off.
Yeah, it's true.
Go and write a book or something. Or get my attention in another way rather than putting on a wig and insisting that I call you Jenny and that you're a real girl. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, I suppose in a way our generation was lucky, because when we wanted to rebel, when I wanted to rebel when I was young, I wore lipstick and that was with white lip gloss, white stuff. That was the New Romantics, but I mean that only lasted about a week.
Thank God.
But we could have been maybe punks if we'd been a bit older, and then we had Acid House. I could rebel by wearing a smiley T-shirt and a bandana. But imagine being a young person now, and you've got to express your rebellion by becoming a kind of a girl if you're a man.
Yeah. Also there's that element of the fact that I often ask myself, why is this happening now?
Yeah.
And the Douglas Murray thing of saying, the train was pulling into the station and everything was really nice, then suddenly it sort of veered off on another track at speed. And I think
by accident. Yeah,
I think that we were genuinely heading in a more peaceful direction as a society, and things were actually getting calmer. And I know people think Trump was a very divisive figure, but he was the only president to have got rid of not launched any wars and managed to get a Middle East peace deal. So I think things were getting calm, and the nihilists went, oh no, we need to up the game now. I'm not saying that it hasn't been planned in a very long form, but I was saying actually good seemed to be, the goodness in people seemed, not that Trump represented the goodness in people necessarily, but he did represent the right of freedom. He did stand behind freedom. That we were actually sort of going in a direction of where good might have been starting to have.
No, I don't. Look, I think we were all just deluded. I think we were all living in a fantasy world which was invented to fool us into thinking that things were normal.
But where does that rabbit hole stop then, James? If you're going, once, where does it end for you?
Oh, with the bit where we all get assumed into heaven.
Right.
I don't look. You mentioned black pill earlier on, and I don't know. There are probably some people here who are still at the black pill phase. Anyone who understands what's going on in the world now really has a choice between being black pilled and white pilled. And black pilled is basically saying
it's over.
We are completely fucked, and there's nothing we can do about it, and I'm just going to be miserable. And then you have the choice if you want, and you can go, well, actually, hang on a second, God's got a plan, and all this evil that's going on is part of his plan, and these forces of darkness are going to be.
Well, they never win, do they? It's always temporary, but evil has never managed to reign for longer than,
Yes, and
so
also
that's the hope in it.
The thing about evil is that even though it seems to be incredibly powerful and it's deeply horrible, it seems to me that the forces of darkness have to be given permission, given license to do their work. The analogy I sometimes use is the vampire. In order to come into your house, the vampire has to be invited across your threshold. Evil can only work with our permission. And if we refuse to give evil permission, then it cannot work. It's darkness upon us. Evil it seems strong on the outside, but actually it's cowardly and it's weak, and it's within our power to reject it.
Yeah, well, I think what I said at the beginning, it's like every time you, I think, who said it? It was probably Jordan Peterson or someone like that, who said every time you lie, you create a bit of evil. You know, and therefore,
Yeah,
this is the whole idea of personal responsibility, I think, which is what was given to us, is that, you know, if you start off with the knowledge that you may not be the most wonderful person on earth, and you are, you know, just a couple of levels beneath you is something pretty dark, then you do everything you can to keep a lid on it. And, you know, the last 2 years have shown what happens when you take the lid off and you allow unfettered access to the nasty stuff.
And I have to say, the people who've come from Glasgow, absolutely. So thank you to all of you. It's been absolutely brilliant. And we'll do another one. Yeah? I mean, I think we should, yeah.